Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
In front of an indoor record crowd of 11,918 at CHI Health Center, Omaha, Nebraska Pro Volleyball Federation action. The Supernovas improved to 4-2. They're on a streak 3 in a row, and a home win after a road trip against a team that you know what, you hadn't faced, didn't know what you're going to get. Coach Saunders next to me. Coach Renee Saunders, talk to me. What's the story? What's the lead?
Sometimes you got to win the battle of ugly. I don't think that was I thought first set we were lights out. I mean, that might have been the best I've seen them play all year. Second, third, and fourth just kind of seemed like we were existing. But we turned it on and we finished when we had to. So it was like a mix of a little bit of all the emotions with them that match. They had 38% kill efficiency, hit 300 on the match, which is fantastic. Held Orlando to only 160. Our defense was really, really good today.
Let's go. Who's the star of the game in your mind?
Oh, man. You know I don't like picking one player,
I know,
right?
but that's why I keep asking you.
Put me under pressure.
That's why I keep asking.
You know, I'm going to say Kendall. I think Kendall White just keeps us in games with her, experience, her poise, her play, her serve receive, her defense, and her ability to communicate with her teammates. And, I mean, I think Coach Bird has said before that she's the most blunt with her teammates. But sometimes that's what you need in the moment to make things happen. And so I think Kendall today, especially since it was I felt more of a defensive effort from the Supernovas.
Coach, what do the numbers say? What's the number that jumps out? First, on the good side, on the positive side, we can do good, bad, and ugly, but I think good. Let's start there.
Hitting 300 for a match is really good. Having 64 digs is really good. Those are both two things that stand out to me. We had 13 blocks, 14 positive touches, lots of good things. 9 serves is a little bit more misses than normal, so I'm going to shift to the negative.
Right.
But it's really that was really the worst thing that we did was we missed some serves at inopportune times and a couple balls dropped at inopportune times. But as a whole, I thought that it wasn't our prettiest best game. But sometimes you don't need your prettiest best game to win.
When Coach Bird walks into the locker room, what's the first thing she's going to say to this team tonight?
Probably that she's proud of them, because that seems to be a universal message that she gives them. She was proud of them on the road for how they played. I think she's going to be proud of them for winning at home with a really big crowd against a really good Valkyries team. The next message is probably going to be that we need to clean up some things. We can't have kind of the letdown that we had in the third set, because you have that letdown that gives you the other team hope. And I like to tell my kids, we want to crush hope. So we want to make sure that we stay on our A game and keep the pedal to the metal so that the other side doesn't have hope.
Yeah, there were several opportunities to just end it and finish it. You don't want folks to start feeling it. And Joe Gillen just ran by, and you just say, well, listen, on a night where she got it going, Teeler got it going. They had different people on the Orlando roster who stepped up and played hard. Even if they didn't get win, they played well. Who are the names that you want folks to remember when you're talking about Orlando?
Jill Gillen. Carly Scott impressed me. First set, a little bit off, right? Yeah. But second, third, and fourth, Carly Scott did a really great job. And then Teeler played out of her mind between her block and her attack. She's just so dynamic at the net. And I know she's not their normal starter. Like, it's Shina Joseph who rolled her ankle, and then it was Evans who came in and actually I thought gave us kind of a fit.
And Noah Nye.
Yeah, and then there was Noah Nye today, which makes, I think, a big difference for their team over there.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest and a lot to break down, but for everything that was done in this space, Murphy just ran by as well. She is, look, in this league, she covers well.
She covers a lot of ground. She reads really well. Couple times we caught her base. She's very abnormal for a libero. She gets a really, really wide base and really dug in. I was surprised at how well she could move out of that wide base, because she was able to cover the middle of the floor despite the fact that her legs were pretty wide.
I think we were both surprised because Melissa Evans came in and just showed out. She played well.
She played really well, and she actually impressed me when she came in the last match that they played against Columbus. Shina goes down, Joseph with a rolled ankles. Evan comes in. I think she gets a kill. She gets a back row kill. She gets a service ace. I mean, she was only in for the end of the match, and she might have been the most impactful player in the time that she was in and the opportunities that she was given.
Kaz Brown was all over the place and a factor. Your thoughts on the young lady from Kentucky?
Kaz Brown was terminating at 42%. She hit 370. I mean, she was unstoppable in the middle. When they passed well, she was a force to be reckoned with. When we were able to keep them out of system a little bit, they didn't get to her quite as much. Same with MK White. She terminated at 40%, hit 200. They're both really good middles. And I think what stands out the most of them is their arms are so long. They can just take a lot of space, and they're fun to watch play.
Rivera was – I was given –
Rivera.
Yeah, like I was given notes on her before. They said, listen, she may be the best athlete of the bunch in that on the volleyball court, she does everything at a high level. Is that a statement of truth?
Yeah, I think she holds herself to a high level, a high expectation, and a high standard. She had 37 set assists. She had 13 digs. She didn't attack often, but when she did, she was at 33% efficiency. Missed a couple serves. I'm actually shocked she didn't have any aces, because she's got to be in the top 3 in service aces. I mean, obviously, Betty De La Cruz is like a whole different level.
Yeah, she's in a
but
different
then after Betty De La Cruz, I would think Wilma Rivera would be up there. If Orlando figures out their service woes, they're going to be one of the top 4 teams. For sure.
This would have been a 5th set match.
Yes. Yes.
If they had figured out their serve. All facts. Let's switch sides of the net, because I do want to talk about Brooke Nunn-Delores.
Yep.
And what she brought to the table. Listen, an impressive night, especially from the back row.
Oh, yeah. You can tell they like to run that back row attack. We're just going to keep setting it because it's really fun. And it's really fast. Like, that's men's speed tempo that they're running back there. She terminated 34% today, hit 270, had 14 digs. I think really her dig in that corner and some of those like little stretch plays that she made.
Rescue balls, yeah.
They just she put her team in position to win rallies, and she actually serve received really well today. They only served her 12 times, 25% of them were perfect. Kendall, 42% perfect. Again, she's just steady Eddie back there.
Well, I was going to use steady Eddie about Jess Shaven-Landsman because she just was everywhere, fluid, smooth, competitive.
Yep, she had 27 swings today, 12 digs, 3 blocks, 30% kill efficiency, only hit 150. She didn't find the floor quite as much. She got blocked twice. She had 2 hitting errors, so that kind of took away from it a little bit. But she also had 8 kills. We only had 2 players in double-digit kills, which is rare for us to win with only 2 people in double-digit kills.
Who were those 2?
Brooke Nuneviller and Betty De La Cruz.
That's where I was headed. Let's talk about Betty and what she put together tonight.
She has so many shots, and she has so much ability to like tool and tip and hit around, and she's just savvy with the way she plays the game. She's very intelligent. She makes good decisions. I feel like she's getting more and more comfortable with her team, and more their communications becoming better. And so I think we're going to continue to see an improved Betty De La Cruz each match out.
I like the fact that Sydney Hilly just played. Like every time we called her name, it was at top speed. It was high efficiency. I'm impressed by her and the fact that, again, putting her into the starting lineup and to playing well enough to not have to go to Nadi to keep this thing moving.
Yeah, I think, as a coach, you want to trust the setter and the decision that you make. I think that Bird's probably going to talk to her about setting the middles a little bit more. They set the middles 24 times total, set the outsides 76 times, and then set the right side 27. So definitely got to find a little bit more balance with the middle. And I think when we strayed from the middle is when really Orlando got going. And it's because we got predictable. But having that back row attack helps spread it out a little bit. But I know that the back row attack and the middles are 2 things that this team's going to have to be strong at by the end of the season if they want to win the league.
Let's talk about the middle and Vuchkova. Still herself defensively. What can they get from her offensively?
Yeah, she didn't block as many balls as I thought she would today. She killed at 42%. She hit 420. I think they have her for no hitting error. So my guess is they gave that miss ball to Sydney as a set error.
Right.
But she had 5 kills on 12 swings, which is pretty solid. I think it was a good opening for her in Omaha. I'm not sure why they took her out, but she was gunning her, like had one of those massage guns on her quad. So she might even be dealing, because she just came from China. So she might have some aches and pains from playing that potentially, 4 games in 10 days might be a lot for her.
As a coach, when you look down the bench and you point at somebody, what you hope is that as they sit, they do what this young lady did. Danielle Hart pulled the cape out of her uniform and went to work and helped them finish the 4th set.
Yeah, she got 3 swings, got 2 kills, and they were both very important in that last set. Also had a couple digs and served pretty well. She had
she went the late run.
That was it. Yep, she had a little run back there too. So, I mean, that's the cool part about this team is like your number gets called. There's a lot of confidence that you can get the job done.
Well, they're not asking. Coach Bird isn't asking players to do things they're not good at. Like
No.
that's an excellence in coaching, is identifying talent and then giving folks the opportunity to excel at it. Once again, let's get back to the person that I would call the star of the game. Kendall White was just brilliant.
She was. She's so consistent back there. She keeps us in system. I mean, she passed quite a few balls. She passed 12 balls. They really tried to serve at Betty, and that's what most people are going to do. Betty passed 40 balls. She got the majority of them, and then Brooke and Kendall got 12 each. But 42% of balls that Kendall passed were perfect, and I would say she had a good match, not her best match, right? Like her best match, she's passing like 60% perfect, but she was still rock solid back there. She was digging balls. Pretty sure I saw her do the splits, still get the ball up. I mean, I think, but her leadership is just, I think that's the part that doesn't show up on the stat line for her. Is her leadership and her fire and her just like will to win. I think she instills that in her teammates.
She lets the people around her excel at what they're good at.
Yep.
Like she's not asking them to be the super dig. She's all over the floor. You stay up. I got it. I'll take this.
Yep.
My knees will pay the price later. But I will do that for you. What's the thing? What do we have to fix? What do the Supernovas have to fix? It's a short turnaround before you get on a plane and you have to get things right. What do you have to work on?
Well, they head to Columbus on Wednesday for their Columbus's first home game, 3rd game of the season. They've yet to find a win. They're almost to full strength. They look significantly better when they played Orlando this last time.
Yes.
I think the thing I would be telling to my team is that we've got to stay the course. right? Like we're not freaking out. We're not worried about maybe missing more serves than normal. And maybe our setter hair connection wasn't as good as normal. And maybe this, maybe that. Like I wouldn't worry about that. I just think you have to trust that you're going to continue getting better at all the things that you're doing and still working on, setting your middles and running your back row attack and having a tempo to your pins and passing the ball in the box and defensively pursuing everything you possibly can. I think if you're doing those things, and things are going to go well for you. But if you get caught up and worry too much about what you didn't think went well, then you're going to miss out on an opportunity to get better at other things.
Here's what we'll do with Toward the Break here. When we come back, we'll get to the Supernovas themselves, have some conversations. I'll ask Rico to sit down as well, get his take and input. Coach Saunders, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to the Supernovas Radio Network.
Hello. Hello.
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show here live at CHI Health Center. I am Rico, joined by the coach Renee Saunders. A little change of plans. We're planning on having Kendall White join us for the postgame, but instead,
Kendall decided to go hop in the shower before anybody could interview her. So we're going to try to get Tori Dixon out here.
we'll get Tori Dixon and Coach Bird when she's done with her post-game duties. I think that's how Tori went back with Bird. So we'll see. Maybe I'll throw both of them on, just have you lead the whole thing.
Let's not do that.
It'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
It's not going to end well for me. We could take Hart, too.
We could if we wanted. I could go get her real quick.
Oh, here comes Kendall.
You could go get her. Yeah, either way. But
Maybe Sydney grabbed Kendall.
somebody will come join us at some point. But Coach, back to 500 at home for the Supernovas. 2-2 inside CHI Health Center. And it looks like we'll actually be joined.
You got the one you wanted.
Thank you. You were gonna be it, Sydney.
Oh goodness.
Kendall tried to avoid.
She didn't her first radio interview with us, and she didn't want to join us. It's fine.
Oh, I wasn't being public. We're good.
Always want to be there, right?
Always.
Love it.
Perfect one.
Ah, Kendall.
Yeah.
Steady Eddie back there.
Oh, thank you. That was a fun one tonight. Record man, congrats. That was sick.
You guys have like the top four fans, like numbers.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like, one of the reasons I was really excited to be a part of this team was for the fan engagement. So I'm happy that it's living up to the reputation. Pretty dope.
I can't believe I saw you cover a ball and do the splits at the same time.
Listen, let's stretch it. I didn't blow anything. We're good. Ball is up. I didn't blow anything. Perfect.
Biggest impact. I mean, you had 15 gigs tonight. Obviously, you make an impact on the defensive end, but really, I don't feel like teams hit you a whole heck of a lot.
I feel sick. I wish they would.
You should probably talk to Bird about that in the middle of something.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they would have been a little bit time. Their goal was to try to hit our setter and like off our hands of the block. Which they did a nice job, especially in set 3, but I think we combated that really well later on, especially in set 4.
How much has the defense changed with the addition of Vuchkova? I mean, getting up there and her having that massive block up front is probably contributing to you getting a few less digs as well.
Yeah, I think, blocking and defense around it, it's kind of like a dance. But, like, it depends on who you have, and you got to get to know each other's tendencies and things like that. And, she just really got here from China. She's Bulgarian. She's in China, so she came out. But, yeah, it's been great. She's a great addition to the team. I love her energy. She's awesome. But, Dan came out and stepped up at the end. Came out with blocks and some great energy and service pressure. So I think we have a super, super deep bench. So like, no matter who's stepping on the court, it's been really great.
How do you manage to keep that energy for this? I mean, there's some super long rallies going on, and you just hop up at the end of it regardless, and you just have all of this. How do you manage that?
I've been asked this question so many times in my life. I don't know, born this way. I can't really say that it's something you can learn. I think I love a game a lot. And things fire me up. I can't be the one to learn, so when somebody does a great affair, I live with them. I'm a team player. It's team sport, and I just my team win as well. So.
I love how you play defense. Obviously, I love your energy. I love what you bring to the court. But honestly, the biggest impact you make is you're so automatic in serve receive. I feel like you do it in your sleep. Is that a Coach Kesterson, a Coach Rose? Who are you going to attribute your phenomenal serve receive to?
I think my service team has just been ever changing. I think I've learned something from every person I've ever had, and Coach Rose has did an amazing job of forcing me to I passed 2 first season, covering some court, do a lot of range. I think Coach K, the coach system, was really big on building me up and making me believe that I could do anything. She's always you have to ignite. And I think it's evolved over time. I think that, it's a mindset kind of thing. You're serve at me, give me the ball. I want the ball. And yeah, I never used to be the serve receive libero, so it's nice that I've turned into one.
Well, they're avoiding you.
Yeah, they are. I know.
100%.
I know.
You don't get a ton of balls.
Yeah.
They like to serve bad.
That's true.
But she does a great job, so that's fine.
She does.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Betty, you're next on this.
She's an animal.
You'll be fine. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can.
And she speaks it pretty well, actually.
She's perfectly fine.
She did that before. We had the meeting.
Rico speaks Spanish.
I understand it a lot more than I speak it, but I can manage. It was funny because the first time we had to get meeting here, she dragged Naughty with her. She just goes, "I'm not going to answer in English," and she didn't. She answered in Spanish. I had to translate. It was fine. Keeping it on the serve receive, does it? Betty just walked by. Does it help having somebody who serves like Betty? In practice to kind of get ready for the serve that you're seeing from Orlando?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Betty obviously has one of the best spin serves in the country and the world. But also the setter from Orlando has one of the lefty spin serves, a completely different tail. We had a lefty coach, Jazz Schmidt. She's great, and she was coming out here spinning with us. But yeah, I think again, Betty's one of the best servers in the world. So of course it helps being prepared with like her. So yeah, it makes my life easier.
I've nicknamed you the sweaty kid.
Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, listen, I don't sweat my arms, I only sweat on my knees. It's like a condition. Oh my gosh, when I go for a jog, I'm just ripping my socks. I'm what's really? That's very weird. I think
it's like it comes right out of your kneecap, right?
Yes.
I had the same thing. So maybe it was a defense specialist type thing. Because I would be I can say this because I was a sweaty kid.
Every time you dive on the floor, she goes, "Oh, she's gonna have to clean that up."
Oh
There's
my
a
gosh.
kid out there.
I've been hearing this forever.
This has been your whole life.
Oh my gosh. So especially from college on, I never used to wipe the floor when I was in the club. I probably almost killed people. But I remember like I would be in college, we would be like, children, you wipe the floor. I was like, we need to wipe the floor.
It wasn't a stall tactic.
No, it was
like,
not a
legit.
stall tactic. I was like, listen, I want to go fast. Like,
One time we were wiping the floor and you were even on the court. I'm like, wait a minute.
Who is it?
I was like, there was one time, yeah, I told the ref, I was like, this wasn't me.
So I was like, I had to ask.
Yeah.
What do we think for Columbus? What are the Novas? What are we going to try to improve upon before we play on Wednesday?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. There was a few things that we want to hit. Hold on, tell her.
Well, no, you know,
But
like,
actually,
Don't give us.
it's like, you know, just like on a nonchalant, not scouting report plan ways. What are some things that we need to do better than we did tonight?
I think that we can act like we could, in those first two sets. And I think just remembering that like every team in this league is good, and no one's gonna lay down and expect you to just walk all over them. They're gonna come back and fight, and remember like respect every opponent by beating them as well as we can, and respecting them for every point. And I think that we kind of like swoop down a little and just kind of like like maybe we'll win, maybe we'll not in that third set, and we had to come back out in the fourth and bring some energy again. So just not expecting somebody to lose.
I think the word Bird uses, and I use it as well, is urgency.
Absolutely.
Like as soon as you become complacent on your side and they're the more aggressive team, then all of a sudden now anything can happen. And so like what you're talking about, we talked about too, about crushing hope.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you want to give people hope, then you kind of like lay back and become a little complacent, but you want to crush hopes and dreams.
Exactly. And just doing what you can to the best of your ability and not slacking off.
Go ahead.
How important was the road trip coming at the time that it did? You guys, your first 3 games are at home. You're 1-2 going on a 2-game road trip, and obviously you guys go 2-0, come back home and win a game against Orlando. But how important was that road trip and going 2-0 for the camaraderie on this team and just bringing you guys closer together, especially with Vuchkova joining you guys for the road trip?
Yeah. We have been very lucky on this team. From beginning of training camp to now, like we've all really bonded. Like we really like each other. We have not had any spats or anything like that, which is pretty rare on a female team. I'm not gonna lie. So it's pretty great to see that like we're just bonding a lot. And so with the trip, we all got to get a little bit closer with our roommates and stuff like that. And I think that's just allowing like from bench to court and like no matter who's playing, we're cheering each other on. And I feel like that's just really helping like us as a group together.
And I feel like that's rare too, because in a professional sport, you'd feel like it's more like about me.
It is.
Right? Not me, but like more
more selfish.
It's all about you, Renee.
It's more selfish.
It
you
is,
have to worry
right?
about your own
Like,
career. That's true.
Yeah, but at the same time, like something I've noticed about you guys since day one watching practices from, the early training camp to the like mini camp before, is that it never seemed that way watching you guys.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was always like helping each other, even though that person might beat me out if I help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like you can look at it 2 ways, right? You can look at it one way where you're like, all right, like I have to be selfish. Like it's got to be me. Like I got to perform well so my career goes well. But on the other hand, like we're all on this team right now and we all have one goal. And whether you're driven by money, you want to get that, bonus at the end. It doesn't matter if you're a bencher on the court. It matters if you win.
Right.
And so you got to do whatever you can and whatever you can give to the team to win. And I think that's the way we're looking at it. Like we're looking at it like, all right, no matter who's stepping on the court, we want to win, period. So I think that's just something that we've figured out together. And we've really been working hard with like our like mental coach, and he's been great.
Dr. Larry Widman.
Yep. He's been great. And he's got his book out, like maxed out and stuff, and we've been doing like our worksheets and things like that. And like we have some pillars, and it's been really great for us to build on, especially some international girls who've never done it. So it's been cool.
Well, Kendall, thank you so much for joining us. And we will definitely be having you on again sometime in the near future.
Take me whenever. I'll be out a little soon.
I promise you I'm not forcing you out, but we are going to get to your coach.
Oh, all right. Peace out.
So we are going to switch over. We're not going to go to a break. We're going to have you set that down. We'll bring Coach Bird in here.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Good job.
And we're going to welcome in Coach Bird whenever she's done talking right over there. But how important is, the sweaty kid to this team just going along as the season progresses, and all of the energy that she provides and the ability to, not let a ball touch the court at all?
I think it's just consistency. Like, what you're going to get out of her night in and night out. And so that allows you to kind of not worry about it. I think when you don't know what you're going to get from someone, you spend more time worrying about it.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that smile.
Tiny little baby.
He's so cute.
Tiny little baby. And we welcome in the
here.
coach, Coach Bird.
I know DP said it at the last. DP said it the last game. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a winning.
This is a winning streak.
2 on the road, 1 at home, back to 500 at home. What was different about today's match as opposed to maybe one on the last one on the road in Vegas?
I think we started clean, and it was funny because we didn't even pass that well. But our offense, shoot, Thomas was like telling me the numbers after that first set, and I was like, dang. But it was really our pins. We didn't even. It was. I said something. You'll appreciate this because I was like, it is whatever to 9, and we hadn't set our middles yet at all. But they were just on them, and our pins were just lighting them up. So, I mean, but that's what happens when you have a balanced offense and they scheme a certain way. I props to Sid. I mean, she was finding them one-on-ones and making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about. Like when you look at it in retrospect, right? You have Brooke with 41 swings again. You have Betty with 35 swings again, and then your middles get 12, 12, and 3. And I think that where we kind of slipped was obviously because we hadn't really established our middle.
Right.
And so then we had to try to go back to it, and there was little connection issues and stuff like that. But I feel like this is something like when I'm thinking, if you want to win this league, would you consider your setter middle connection a vital part of that happening?
For sure, because we need that balance, and whether we start with it, you always want to kind of set the tone with it, but you have to have that rhythm so that it's consistent. You have to be consistent with it. So we'll get back on that. Obviously, we hit the road again, and I kind of like our team on the road, so that's fun. But it was fun. It was great to be back here in this atmosphere today. Obviously, it's a big weekend, President's Day weekend with this group and the club tournament. So cool for our sport. Like, it's so special.
I thought going into the game, looking at like Kaz Brown and MK White, I really thought that they would be more a force at the net, but it was opposite. Like we ended up with 13 kills, 14 positive touch, or 13 blocks, 14 positive touches. They only had 6.
Yeah.
That shocked me.
Well, we talked about them being very dominant defensively.
Right.
We knew they were going to be good blockers, middles wise, but I think their plan was to stay with our middles, and we just didn't go to them right off the bat. We went to the pins. And again, props to our setters, Sid, and the way Nati and her communicate. But I think them reading the game and then reading the court live, I mean, that's what it was.
In that third set, I mean, how do you balance the, we should take a timeout and try to quell this run and letting your players go and try to squash it themselves in that third set when Orlando was just starting to pull away a little bit?
I'm always hesitant to call timeouts because I do want to like empower that trust. And we do have a veteran team, and I think they're very mature. And so once I took the timeout after that, I'm like, okay, we're going to make a sub. We're either going to, and they were, the staff is so awesome with like just, we're constantly talking about things and what to do next and what changes to make. And it came from both dub sub, because we'd gone just setters before. But in that moment, it just seemed right to go Nia and Nati to just kind of get a spark or kind of slow them down somehow. And then kind of let us grind out of it. And we did for the most part. I honestly, at one point it was 21-16 or something. And I said, or even more, 14. And I said, 2 3-point swings and we're back in this.
Yep.
Like, this is the challenge. How can we take momentum back and get ourselves all the way back in this to actually finish in the third? And that's the type of stuff that you have to have a mindset and kind of just always have that conversation with the team and a group of them.
Well, one thing though that you did, no matter what, when you got to that point 20, for the most part, you guys finished. So like things you've been talking about before was like finishing, eliminating runs. Do you think that you did those 2 things today?
Yes. I think we slipped up in the third and let them get away. And that was us. I mean, it wasn't like they were, what's her name was serving, but it wasn't because we weren't passing. It was because we weren't executing.
Right.
So just knowing that control that you have and being able to take that momentum back sooner.
And one of the players that was drafted by Omaha but ended up getting traded, Jill Gillen. You guys obviously did your homework on her and saw what she could do, but having it, on the other side of the net, how was that, seeing that and trying to combat what she was able to do?
Jill's awesome. I love her. I feel like I've known her forever. We knew, she's such an explosive player and she's so aggressive in how she attacks, but how she plays the game in general. So we knew we had to contain her, manage her offensive production, but honestly go at her. I think we served her. We were trying to like kind of put it on her a little bit. And so just figuring that out, she's also a rhythm player. So you can't just keep it on her when she's finding that rhythm. And so just balancing that.
Did you know ahead of time that Carly Scott was going to be starting for Adora and I?
No.
So that was kind of a surprise. And she seemed a little off in the first set, but once she got going, she did a really good job.
Yes, she's a very smart player, and she moves the ball. She sees the court. And so, yeah, we did not know that until they were calling the starting lineups. But that's
Surprise.
the name of the game. Yeah.
So do you know why Anai didn't play?
No.
I was hoping I'd see her play today.
Right. Well, that would have been a completely different match.
I
if
told you she was
in there.
putting something on her shoulder back there. The trainer was putting something on her before the match started.
Well, I mean, I think we're all in this grind of they had a match. They literally traveled on their what would be a day off.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if they're just kind of managing the loads because they're going to continue to have matches like we will now. But that's the thing. We don't know. I saw that Taylor was active last night. So I talked to Amy before the game and I'm like, hey, she's going to light us up, isn't she? Because I know her from
She's a heck
Kentucky
of a player.
and I love that kid. And so but it's awesome to see these players come in and like compete the way we know they will. Taylor's back there playing defense and back row attacks. I'm like, here
From
we go.
middle blocker to,
Yes.
to right side,
I was
back
like,
row.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Getting after it.
she's a freak at the net
Yes.
as far as like how high she jumps, how strong she is with her block. And I thought Evans did like two players that played the same position were probably the most impactful ones in the game other than the middles.
Yep.
Which was phenomenal for me. So what's next? What do we got coming up this week? How are we going to get ready for our next road trip?
So we will practice tomorrow. We'll push it back later. And then we hit the road on Tuesday. So we literally do a little bit of something tomorrow and then head to Columbus on Tuesday and go straight to Orlando to play again on Sunday. So we'll have kind of an extended break and be in Orlando to kind of regroup, and then we play them again. And that'll be, I'm sure it's going to be a different match, probably a different lineup, and we just have to be ready on our side and execute.
And they have decent crowds at UCF as well.
It's going to be a good atmosphere.
Yeah,
Amy
it'll be
and I
fun.
talked about that too because she asked me about Vegas, and I said that's a legit venue, and I think theirs will be similar. It's that
Yep,
similar size.
it'll be fun.
I was going to ask you about that because you play Orlando, 3 of the next 6
Yes.
matches?
Yes.
So how do you, is it keeping it much of the same in this one? I mean, you got the win, so do you try to keep it much of the same, or there obviously is going to be some little changes that you probably tweak?
Oh, we're going to tweak some things. I don't think it was a clean win, but I don't think it was as clean as we would want it to be in certain situations. We were going hard and defensively scrapping, but there are still plays that we could clean up. I mean, there was a couple times when it's just the communication of Kendall running for a ball, Brooke and Betty running for balls, and like being more assertive with our communication. But I love how hard they're going. So you can't really fault them.
I don't see it in practice, but seeing Betty on the floor for the first time in like the first 5 matches was a little scary.
Yeah, but and we see it. There were other times when I'm like, yeah, let's go, girl. Let's get it. But she wasn't. She was going to keep her feet and play through that ball that Brooke took her out. We were like, all right, just call the ball.
It'll work.
Use your words.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, but they go hard, and that's the thing. We have players, and they're going to make plays. So that's all you can ask for.
Good stuff.
Fantastic.
That's all I got.
I like it.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank
3
you,
in a
guys.
row.
Feels good to be home. Feels good that we're still together, all of us. I
It's
feel
great.
safe
We're
with you
having
guys.
fun. This is what we do. This is what we do.
This is where we live.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty post-game show here live from CHI Health Center. Omaha Supernovas, 3-0 on these last 3 games, 1 game over 500 on a winning streak. Thank you all for listening to the Supernovas Radio Network.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
stop.
Ben, it's going to be all you. Recap the Husker Sports Day, Ben. Thank you. Ben, you recap the Husker Sports Day for the night for the last 15 minutes.
We're done.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor